The big idea, if you're taking notes, is filter out the negative. Look at your neighbor and say, filter out the negative. If you want to have healthy relationships in your life, you need to begin to filter out the negative. What's that mean? Filter out the negative things in your life that are holding you back from having healthy relationships. So you all know, right here, right now, you all know, kids, don't speak out loud to your parents, hold that in. Husbands and wives, shush a minute. You all know that thing that's causing you to be selfish. You all know that one thing that is making you not to have peace in your relationships. If you think really hard, I bet you can find that in your life as to what that situation is. What am I doing that's making things so selfish? So we need to filter out those negatives from our lives. And then we need to learn how to filter out the negative things that come from others into our life. If you think of the gold miners, they used to have these bowls that would sift things. They would stick it in the dirt, and they would bring it up, and they would sift it through. They would get all the negative dirt and junk out, and then all that was left was the pure gold. And we need to do that in our relationships. We need to filter out the negative things in our life and the negative things that are coming into our lives. Paul says that we need to think differently. So we need to renew our minds when we come into relationships and these hard things that we're going through. Paul says that we need to think differently. And even though the negative things are still there, and even though they exist, we can choose how to react to them. The word responsible really means response-able. So you are able to respond to the negatives that come at you from people in your life. You are able to make that choice. It's how you decide whether you're going to freak out on them or whether you're going to love them in the love that you know the Lord has given you to love them with. But sometimes things are so hard, and sometimes people are so, there you go. Sometimes we need supernatural power to be able to deal with these people in our relationships. Supernatural power, because we can't do it on our own. We need God to be able to do it for us. So in the book of Psalms, it says in Psalms 29:11, may the Lord give strength to his people. May the Lord bless his people with peace. See? He wants to bless you with peace. So if he wants to bless you with something from heaven, we know it's got to come from him. We can't strive for peaceful relationships in our lives on our own. We need the power of God to be able to do it. He's going to give us strength, and he's going to give us the power we need to do it. So as I was preparing this message, I thought to myself, okay, so do people who irritate us have a purpose in our life? Yes, they do. And here's why. Because they could actually show us something about us that needs to be changed. Whether we want to accept that or not, they can actually show us something that we need to change. If you are able to just sit down with the person that you are having such trouble with in your relationships, whether it be your children or your spouse or your mom or your dad or siblings. I mean, who all know that even as a grown-up, sometimes your parents can still put expectations upon you that you can't achieve. So even if we're able to just sit down with this person and just share our heart with them and let them share our hearts with us, we may be able to say, oh my goodness, I really had no idea that that's how I acted when I was with you, or I had no idea that that got you so angry. And, you can be bitter at someone right now, and if you were really to think, how did that even start? Where did that come from? I don't even remember how I'm bitter at this person. What is the deal here? We just don't like each other. What happened? Get to the root of the problem. Sit down and try to figure out what the root of the problem is.